and we're out. So what's you working on?
Professional contractor Matt Minster stakes out home improvement stores.
Home renovation shows are certainly more than a TV trend at this point. Although this specific brand of reality television series has existed for decades now, with the passing of times, these shows have been improving and innovating the concept of remodeling we used to have. So, what are the secrets behind Bath Crashers? Why did it leave TV screens? Is there a lawsuit against them? And what happened to the cast? Be ready to learn the untold truth about Bath Crashers. As much as we love to see Bath Crashers renovations happen, it was inevitable to question how the financial factor of the show actually worked. Anyway, if there was something certain about Bath Crashers, it's that neither Matt Munster nor the homeowners seemed to mind spending several thousands of dollars on every project. Nonetheless, that specific aspect of the show is planned like that. As Matt once said in an interview with Winona Daily News, the show purposefully intended its projects not to be cheap. In his words, having a big budget set the series apart from others, and more importantly, it showed the audience what a well-planned and generous bathroom renovation looked like. While spending so much money remodeling a bathroom is not affordable for everyone, the thing with Bath Crashers is that homeowners are completely willing to accept the show's terms. If spending a couple of thousands on a bathtub doesn't really seem to be a problem, the big question is, who pays for it? The answer is that the homeowners only pay for taxes related to US laws, but the operational and filming costs are paid solely by the show's producers. Although the show promotes him as a contractor, Matt Munster is actually a professional interior designer, graduating from the Madison-based University of Wisconsin. It's not surprising that Matt's renovation skills are top-notch, though unknowingly to many, his beginnings in the field started away from shower tiles and faucets. Starting with restaurants, renovations, and local nightlife businesses, Matt's talent outgrew his native Wisconsin and eventually led him to work with independent clients around the world. Even then, his rise to fame only came with his debut on TV in 2008, actually several years before Bath Crashers premiered. Knowing how impressive his professional background is, it's easy to assume Matt always knew what and how to do his work in the show. However, as he admitted, the process of creating a fitting design takes some time, which isn't always affordable for TV's sake. This often leads him to solve issues and inconveniences on the spot, in what he describes as MacGyver type of situations. Nonetheless, all of this is possible thanks to his production team's efforts. After initially picking the fortunate homeowners for the show, managing the details with local contractors, shops, and living arrangements for the filming crew, what we ultimately watched in every episode was the final result of a committed crew's actions. From Bath Crashers' premiere in 2010 to its end in 2016, Roger Craig Smith was the show's main voice and one of its most memorable characters. However, while it's widely acknowledged, putting such a great trademark on a TV show isn't easy. Many people don't know that Roger has a long career as a voice actor, announcer, and presenter as well. Although his beginnings date back to the early 2000s as a comedian, Roger went on to work as a voice actor for video games, cartoons, Japanese animations, and films. Some of his most memorable roles to date include voicing Bruce Wayne in Batman Unlimited and Steve Rogers in Ultimate Spider-Man. As well, he can be heard in several Japanese and American video games from big developers such as Sonic Team, Ubisoft, and Sumo. While his career is mostly in acting, he has also been announcing and narrating shows over the years, such as Say Yes to the Dress, World of Dance, and House Crashers. By having worked for big entertainment networks such as Disney, HGTV, and TLC, it's not a wonder why Roger has won international recognition in several fields, which makes us appreciate his voice in Bath Crashers even more. While reality TV stars are usually known for being eccentric and too self-centered, this is not the case with Matt Munster. Besides being an acclaimed personality and designer, the man uses his fame for good causes. He's a committed contributor to Rebuilding Together Twin Cities, an organization which looks to rebuild houses for people in need. It focuses on helping out people in difficult financial situations, especially if they have some type of disability, are families with children, or minorities. In his way to find support for said organization, Matt promotes their events in local and national media outlets. Probably the most memorable of his sponsored charity events is the Flannel Fling, a gala which collects funds for various social causes every year, including helping out children and old people. As well, Matt is known for being a contributor to local philanthropic fund collecting events, such as Design for a Difference and the Minneapolis Mets Parade. More recently, he and his long-term friend Chris Grundy have joined forces in favor of Priority Partners Cupboards, a project focused on collecting funds to ensure free food provisions and healthcare to people most in need. All in all, It's nice to know that despite fame and money, Matt actively cares for and acts in a positive way for his community. If you loyally followed Bath Crashers back when it first airs, you surely remember Ryan Prosser, one of the most recurring contractors in the show. Interestingly enough, though he was in the series only for a couple of seasons, his appearance in it was more than favorable for his business, Prosser Construction. Being cast in the show wasn't a coincidence or a stroke of luck though. Back in 2010, Prosser just happened to have the appropriate business to fit into the show. When another contractor couldn't make it, after being warmly welcomed by the production as part of the team, Ryan was soon taking part in many of the projects featured in the show. Known for his quick but practical ways of working, Ryan stayed overnight, traveled to other cities when something in the operation broke down, and worked at an impressively rapid speed just to have the work done in the 3-day window the show promised the homeowners. Although that looks like too much of an effort, the results were worth it. Thanks to Bath Crashers, Ryan not only demonstrated his construction and leadership skills, but his business grew with the show's popularity, thanks to what he describes as a marketing opportunity. Though Ryan left Bath Crashers in 2013, Prosser Construction is still actively operating in the Washington area, and by all accounts, things are going well for the company. Contrary to what people think, Matt Munster's debut on TV preceded the premiere of Bath Crashers by a couple of years. His first appearance in a show happened in 2008, when Bathtastic premiered, with him as its host and main contractor. Unlike Bath Crashers, in Bathtastic, Matt didn't have to rush to finish the bathroom's renovations, nor to choose people to go through said process. Instead, Bathtastic had a slower but efficient approach to remodeling, offering its audience tools, tips, and Matt's expert guidance when it came to converting an old and boring bathroom into a dreamy, comfortable, and stylish place. Bathtastic aired 65 episodes in total until it was cancelled in 2010, after which Matt went on to host Bath Crashers for 6 years, during which he also hosted several special episodes of the remodeling-focused show The Ultimate Crash, in which he joined forces with his fellow network hosts Ahmed Hassan and Josh Temple to make old-fashioned looking and neglected houses look beautiful both inside and out. As well, Matt appeared as an expert in Hotel Impossible and DIY Insider for a couple of episodes. Nowadays, Matt appears in the online series Priority Partners Cupboards, which is part of his charity project of the same name. For almost every reality show, there's at least one scandal related to the law. Bath Crashers is no exception, regardless of how nice the show's work environment appeared to be. As it turns out, in 2014, a woman from California named Courtney Moreau filed a lawsuit against Bath Crashers and Matt Munster for negligence after she was injured while filming a show's episode. As the court's document stated, Courtney had been helping her friend who was set to appear in the show as a homeowner, when Matt had apparently asked her to tape her hand to a sledgehammer. Complying to the request, Courtney hit the object against the countertop while it was still attached to her hand, hurting her in the process. The injury was allegedly so severe that it affected her fingers and even left one of her tendons exposed. As Courtney affirmed, she was shocked at the sight of her open wound, but instead of caring about her health, the show staff made her sign a liability waiver, a document which would exclude the production team from accepting responsibility over any accident that occurred to her on set. Although she signed the document, Courtney filed a suit anyway, but there's no information about the case, which would mean the parties came to an out-of-court settlement. It's not unusual for popular reality TV stars to join high-profile shows, even if only for a short time. This is exactly the case of Matt Munster, who in 2015 joined the Ellen Design Challenge as an expert. The show, hosted and produced by the acclaimed Ellen DeGeneres, offered its contestants the opportunity to unleash their creativity onto furniture design projects to impress the jury. The competition's final prizes were $100,000, in addition to being featured in a magazine. Despite its promising premise, the Ellen's Design Challenge only lasted 2 seasons and was cancelled in 2016. Knowing who Matt Munster is and how prolific his work is as a project manager, one would expect that his own house would be the most elegant and beautifully designed place. However, this isn't the case. It's not that Matt isn't interested in making his home look nice. It's just that he's somewhat indecisive when it comes to it, not wanting to pressure himself into designing something he wouldn't be happy with. Although those were his words back in 2012 when the topic was raised during an interview. It's surprising to know that he still hasn't changed his mind, or perhaps made up his mind, as he told AP News in 2018. His approach to remodeling his home has been different, as he hasn't been concerned with immediacy. Nonetheless, it's worth noting that Matt's actual house is not the same one he lived in back when he was interviewed in 2012. As it happens, he bought his present house in 2013, with the conviction of it being the forever home for him and his family. Maybe it's the emotional value it holds for his family, or the fact that the place's trademark architecture from the 1960s is just too special. But it's understandable that Matt doesn't want to rush into changing it, regardless of how surprising that might be to his fans. For 6 years, Bath Crashers had a stable spot on the DIY network, with the show's crew doing an excellent job. Renovations were top-notch, and the ratings high. That's why when it was announced that the show would see its end in 2016, it was surprising to say the least. For Matt Munster, it wasn't so much of a surprise though, as he confessed in 2018, Bath Crashers was just too expensive to produce, and so a challenge for the network to keep it on air. Even when budget cuts were the main reason Bath Crashers came to an end, Matt also admitted that the show's concept wasn't fitting what TV audiences wanted at the time. However, while saying goodbye to the show was sad, it's undeniable that it gave us many valuable remodeling lessons that will surely continue helping many people in the years to come. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.